Hi, welcome to Losing Weight with Elizabeth. I'm your hostess, Elizabeth, and tonight. Hi, Robert. How are you?
Thank you.
We have to get Robert involved since he can't get on camera. You can't get off this camera. There's only one person behind this camera. Okay, so today we're talking about weight loss basics, and we can't get reminded enough about the weight loss basics because it's a lifestyle change. It's not a diet. It's not a punishment. And I think most people think it's a punishment. But if I think back on the food that I used to eat compared to the food that I eat now, the food that I eat now, because I planned and prepared for it, is so much tastier. And I like it so much more. Do you notice that yourself?
I do it overall. It does taste better, but once in a while I like.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. I
Straight.
still want cookies. But you know, with that, Felicia, there's always the 80-20, 80-60, 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, you should try to eat as healthy as humanly possible, and that it makes for great food. It's not like, terrible food. It's great food. And 20%, for me, the 20% is what I call the poison food, like the spray butter and the sugar-free syrup and, things like that, and the cookies and the wine. What else are you going to do? But,
They did say drinking a glass of red wine every day is like being at the gym for an hour.
I know. I hope you can hear. They say that drinking red wine is like being at the gym for an hour. If only that were true. I would sit on a mat and drink a glass of wine. I would be on the treadmill with a straw in my water bottle of wine. But I can't fathom that that's the truth. I read that article and how much it got shared on Facebook. I put it on Losing Weight with Elizabeth on Facebook. If you want some good recipes, you can find them there. I put that article, but I mean, if it's too good to be true, it pretty much is. Remember a couple of weeks ago, I asked you all to be having the lemon water every morning. Now that you have that cold, I bet you wish you were having that lemon water every morning, right? I'll get the cold now, just because I said that. And one of the ladies that she so structured herself to have the lemon water that she hit her 25-pound mark.
Wow.
And she wasn't at all losing weight. She was it was really touch and go. She'd gain like 3 pounds, lose like 2 pounds, back and forth, back and forth. Then all of a sudden she got this structure of it's just 6 ounces of water and a half a shot, of course, I'd say it that way, of just plain lemon. You could even squeeze lemon in if you want, or use real lemon, however you want to do it. And she hit the 25-pound mark.
That's great.
Because if you think before you even get out of bed, you think structure. You just reach over, grab the glass, slug it down. That's it. But you've started your day off with the right thing. Well, little did I know Of course, I found it on Facebook again, but it was from Fitness Magazine. So I mean, I'm thinking they didn't get this, this whole list from the lemon industry, because you never know. They say cranberries are good for you. Or is the cranberry industry the people that are doing the study? So I read the article, and it's amazing all the things that lemon can do for you. So it's right by my bed. I just take 6 ounces isn't a lot of water. It's not as much as this is, probably 12 ounces. So it's not very much water. I have it right here. It's that much water. That is not very much water with a little lemon. So and it gets you moving. So we should stop thinking about it in a bad way. Our lifestyle change. A lot of people will. Have you ever had people do this? You can't have that. You're on a diet.
Yeah.
No, I am not on. I can't even tell you how much I want to say the worst things. The worst things. I always think people should judge their own plate. But like when I'm in the grocery store and I'm pushing my basket, if there's anything in that basket that's not healthy, I am praying that I don't see anyone that's in any of my classes or watches the show, because I feel like, they're looking in my basket and saying, Elizabeth, why do you have that in your basket? Or why do you have this in your basket? Oh, so I say someone else put it there.
I like that. That's good.
And here's another. This is how lifestyle changes that are funny that can happen too. Last week, one of my really, really wonderful women brought me in a platter of Christmas cookies that she'd put in the freezer and forgot to bring to me. She'll kill me when she sees this. And I just ate those cookies like it was the end of my life. I just kept eating those cookies, and Bob and they were not eating. Everybody in my house, they would have a cookie or two, but they weren't eating. And this was a big platter. Oh, not only that, there was a big bag of homemade scones and biscottis, right?
Wow.
Really just unbelievable. Now, they're not even interested for 1 second in having it, and they're having 1 or 2 cookies. And I would just stand, the very thing I told you not to do last week, and eat those cookies. So finally, the other night, one of them walked in and said, oh, I thought I might get some of those cookies. And I said, oh, yeah, no, they're gone. They had some mold on them, so I had to throw them away. They were getting old and stale. I had to throw them away. And I actually threw coffee grounds on them. I'm sorry, Rose. But I was just too weak. They didn't eat them fast enough. That was, isn't that true?
Their fault. That's right.
It's their fault. If they had just eaten them faster instead of leaving it up to me, it would have been a whole different story. So that they didn't. So here's some of the things we can do. We can get organized. We can, plan and prepare. If we would just plan and prepare for our week's dinner, or at least 5 days in advance. You both go shopping. You guys go shopping once a week or something, right?
Oh, we go 4 times a week.
Yeah, right. I mean, I do too. I'm in the store.
Always, yeah.
I'm always in the store.
Or if I'm not, I send my husband to get certain things that I forgot.
Yeah, right, because, I make a list, and then I forget even looking at the list. So, but the thing is we're always at the store. We can plan delicious dinners, and we can have yogurt in I have a little list here that, different kinds of vegetables. Of course, we want that. We certainly want fruit. We want Greek yogurt. We want some lean protein, fish, chicken. I don't eat very much meat, but, you could have that. It says on this, reduced calorie cheese. I say if you're having cheese, just have it. And have really good cheese. No, none of that plastic cheese. Like it says, not a cheese product. Really? And it says good for kids. I'm telling you, and it's the people that are doing this, it's like a stamp of approval, good for kids. The people that approve this are being funded by the very company
I'm sure.
that, yeah, right? And so I say get really good cheese. Salsa, really good. They say fat-free cream cheese. I say no because what do they put in it? I'd rather have
That's
just
what
a
I always-
little
I'd
cream
rather have the
cheese or no
regular,
cream cheese.
yeah.
You know, it's okay for me. Olive oil, of course, and you always need some sort of broth. Chicken broth, beef broth, vegetable broth if you want. Low sodium, low fat. That's always good. Of course, tea and hot coffee. And it doesn't have wine on here, but I think you should. No, just kidding. So that's planning and preparing for the week so that you don't come home and then there's nothing to eat. Because what happens when you come home and there's no food?
You'll grab all the bad stuff.
Anything you have, and why do you have bad things in your house?
I know.
There's the.
Well, I have a husband that eats bad stuff.
And then usually that stuff isn't what you want, so
No.
you keep eating
Right,
until you
yeah.
find what you
Right.
want.
You know, Liz, you're so right about that. When you have a craving for something, if you would only just give in to the craving, sometimes you just have to give in to the craving. And, but when you don't, that's why you have to have things. Like at night when they're having ice cream, I can have a Greek yogurt. You know, it's 100 calories, it's really good, and it satisfies me. But because the ice cream will probably in the end result be it's so many calories. It should be a treat that you have occasionally. I mean, not something you should give up forever. Like when you go to the zoo, if you want to have ice cream, I think you should have it. But it's not a nightly. It's not a Tuesday night dessert. It's a Saturday night dessert. Okay, so planning and preparing. Portion control. Oh, that is a killer, isn't it? What's the worst thing you have for? What is the worst thing you have for portion control?
Well, I don't eat a lot of it now, but it used to be pasta.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, that's kind of my downfall, too.
Pasta was a big one. A lot of it in a big bowl of it.
Yeah.
Like a half a package. And if you go to some restaurants, you get a package. I went out for lunch today, and I got a salad. And honestly, it was like this. Why do we have to have so much?
Right.
I mean, I know it was my lunch, but it was so much that I could not even consider eating that much. But don't you think that's what people have come to expect? Is, I want really good food.
I wish they would charge less and give you less
You could
instead
have
of
a half a order.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a much better deal?
Exactly.
The only better deal for me is that I usually just take half of it home, so I'm not really worried about it. But that salad I just couldn't. It was a whole head of not iceberg, but romaine lettuce, which is whatever. They didn't have mixed greens, so I wasn't happy with it altogether. Plus, it was so much food I couldn't believe. Now, here's one of the ones that I thought was really interesting. Learn to leave some food on your plate. Now, we don't want to waste food. We were raised to, we had to clean our plates. We all know that. I don't know if parents continue to do that. I hope they don't. But when you're full, you should stop. When you're comfortable, you should stop. And what it does is it keeps you from compulsive eating. Now, what I've been doing is when I'm feeling a little bit full and I think I should be done eating, even though it's so tasty, I will have like grapes or something right there. Like in a restaurant, how they'll give you in between courses. What do they give you? Sorbet or something like that to cleanse your palate. I cleanse it with grapes. And then that delicious salmon or that codfish or whatever I'm having is gone now. And I don't feel the need to, want more of it. What do you have any things that you do to stop you from eating?
No, that's a hard one for me. I usually eat whatever's on my plate. So I'm conscientious to just put on my plate what I know I can eat.
Yeah.
I
Well,
have
now
to.
there's the ideal. That's actually
Because
the
I do.
ideal.
I can't. I've got it. If it's there, I eat it.
Yeah.
That's just.
I think what they're referring to is having just a little bit on the plate. You know, and I'm not, you're certainly not leaving a pork chop on your plate, but a little tiny bit of food on your plate, even though you might want it, if you leave just a little bit somehow.
The
But you know,
grizzle.
raised to clean your plate, it's really hard. How about never feel deprived? What happens when you feel deprived?
Eventually, you make up for it.
Yeah. And then,
Eventually, you make up for
yeah,
it.
and then you wind up eating twice as much because you feel like, oh, well, I don't want to go without that anymore. You're probably better off if you have a craving for something to have a little of it at least.
Should have done that with those cookies because they were there Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
Yeah.
Sunday, Monday, the best day of the week for me for eating. I was eating cookies like it was my job. I can't even tell you. Once the sugar got into my system, I honestly could not stop. I'm telling you, I probably ate 12 cookies in 45 minutes. I'm ashamed to say it out loud, but I did. I ate so many cookies. I can't even believe it. You know, one of the reasons why the healthy lifestyle, the TV was on in the background the other day, and just to go on to a different subject of the lifestyle, losing weight and how important it is the medication that you could be on. I cannot believe the side effects that they will say on TV.
I know.
I honestly, they have an ad for depression. So first they say, "Are you depressed?" And you're thinking, "Oh well, maybe a little depressed." And they say, "You think you're not depressed? Depression affects everyone around you." And then they show the husband and your children and your mother, and like as if you're causing them distress. Then after they tell you now make you feel guilty that if you're depressed you need this medication, they say may cause, and it started with swollen feet, heart palpitations, something with your blood, some sort of blood thing.
That would make me more depressed.
Right. Oh, it went on.
And it always ends with, and even death.
And even
Yeah,
death.
right, I know, right.
And even
exactly,
death.
yeah,
That's
right.
what it said. It went for
like,
suicidal tendencies.
Yeah,
I'm like
it's
going to
like,
myself, wait a minute,
so-
this is a depression drug.
know.
And then it says may cause suicidal tendencies, depression. Wait a minute. You just told me this is a depression medicine, and sometimes death. I was like, oh my God, why would you ever want to take that?
Exactly.
You're so
Right.
much better off working out. I
Right.
mean, I know some people have to take medication, but working out would be a much better way to at least try to get you on the lowest
Right.
dose known to man. But it's not just depression medicine. Do you remember a couple of years ago when everyone was thinking they had restless leg syndrome? Did the pharmaceutical companies just mess with our heads with that? I don't know anyone who has restless leg syndrome.
Either.
One lady said, well, my mother had a little problem with her leg moving a lot. And I thought, and then eventually, and everybody went. I went to a neurologist because I thought, oh yeah, I think I might have that. I was at a neurologist. Says, oh no, nothing's wrong with you. Yeah, there's something wrong with me because they scare you to
Yeah,
death.
they do.
Every day there's something that they have a medication for, and it can cause you. There's a new one where you don't go to the restroom. You don't go to the restroom because, it's inconvenient to go to the restroom often. Well, if you're going to drink 8 glasses of water and 3 cups of
Right.
tea or coffee or something, you should go to the restroom. We shouldn't be, then when they tell you may cause urinary tract infections and may cause this and may cause that, I'm like, well, then maybe we should not take that medicine.
Exactly.
the side effects, you should really read the side effects of medication. That is one of the things that makes for a good lifestyle change.
I know with my husband, he'd take medication for the side effects of other medications, and that was just the way it was, you know.
Medicine for the side effects of other medicines.
Yeah.
That is absolutely a
That's
fact.
crazy.
I know that's crazy beyond all measure. Oh, I can't believe I can't believe that. Okay, here's one about eating slow and enjoying your food. And this is my favorite story that I heard this week. Now, let's say on Sunday you're having the family over. There's two problems. One, we have to stop cooking like the house is still full of people. I just don't know what's wrong with us. But that's another whole story. Then there's the one where the mom or grandma or grandpa or dad or whoever cooks all morning for the big Sunday feast at 1 o'clock, right? So, lots of families do that. And then they come over and everybody's like this with their phones, right?
Oh.
Yeah. And the mother, and then 15 minutes everybody's done eating. Because, that's just about how long it takes. And when we're talking about eating, slowing, and enjoying the food, he spent all those hours making you a beautiful dinner, and now in 15 minutes you're getting up, let alone having your phone.
Right.
So this mom said, yeah, that's over in our house. Everybody has to put their phone in the middle of the table,
Good.
on, off, just off. Listen, if you have a sick child or a sick parent or, there's some urgent problem that you might be needed, then if that isn't the case, you need to not have your phone for an hour. Why would you want to go out to dinner with me if all you're going to do is look at your phone?
Exactly.
I don't want to go
Or
out
even people that go to concerts or they go to ball games and they're not watching. They're like this.
They're not watching
the game. If I go to an
game.
event, I'm there to see the event.
Oh, and I love it when they have the camera right up to their eye, their phones or whatever, and it's right up to their eye.
like-
You're going to yourself, what? You're not even watching the game. What are you going to do, watch it later?
I know.
I can understand
ridiculous.
taking a picture and,
Well,
I understand all of that.
They
But
get carried away.
they get
It's
carried
ridiculous.
away. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's an age thing, but I really do appreciate this woman stood up for herself.
Good for her.
Like that other woman, remember last week I told you about who didn't get up to go get everything? And remember Margot was saying, oh, I do that. I'm hoping she doesn't. Her children are certainly capable of getting up and getting their things. And everybody feels that way. So I thought this was really good of this mom. It took me 3 hours to make this meal, let alone going to the grocery store, coming home, putting everything away, getting everything prepared, planning out the meal. You know how hard all of this can be.
Oh, yeah.
And then to be 15 minutes and everyone's up from the table. No. So it's 1 hour, no phones. You know what? The dinners have everybody is talking. Everybody knows what everyone's doing. It's the way it was.
Right.
There are some things that don't need to change. The phones are wonderful. I love my phone. I love my computer. Don't even think I'm not one of the people that is right there with their phone. But if I'm having time with you, I want to spend time with you.
Right.
If you want to spend time with the person that's on the phone, you should go see them right now.
Exactly.
I had to say to a lady the other day, is there something wrong? Is there some emergency that you need to use your phone? Because I was seeing, I really, what I wanted to say is put that phone down.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to yell into the, but put that phone down. Or don't ask me to lunch. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Why? And she said, oh, I just wanted to write in, this or that. And I was like going, honestly,
Can't
you have
they
your
do that
beautiful
later?
lunch. You have me right in front of you. Why wouldn't you do that?
Right.
So, how about enjoy your food? It's one of life's pleasures. It's not a punishment. And a good dinner doesn't take that long to make. Most of those dinners that I tell you about are made in less than 15 minutes. When I get home from the store, I put the salmon in the marinade. So that takes me 2 minutes. So now I'm going to have that the next day. So I wanted to marinate overnight. But then it's a sweet potato in the microwave oven. It's steamed broccoli, and none of this takes any time at all to do. So are you finding with the new thing that you're trying that is taking you a long time to cook?
No,
No.
no, not at all.
Nothing I make takes that long. So, of course, we would like you to exercise. That would be really good. When you exercise, I'll tell you the truth. After the gym, if we on one day a week we go out for breakfast, and we go to a place where they know us, and we always have, the chef is aware. The chef, it's a fast, what is it, short order cook, but well, he's still a chef, and he knows that we're trying to keep it at a good rate. So he doesn't add oil to the griddle, and he just saves us a few calories here and there. And we get tomatoes instead of home fries, and fruit instead of meats of any kind, and it's just so perfect. And we enjoy it, and we enjoy each other's company, and we don't use our phones during that period of time. But I'm not that hungry, because I just got out of the gym. Do you feel that way after you work out, you guys? Any of you? After you work out?
I don't want to eat after.
I don't want to eat
No,
after.
I don't either.
I think I should really be exercising around 6 o'clock at night instead of 6 in the morning. I think 6 at night would be a much better time, because then I wouldn't be as hungry for hours later. Okay, so get enough sleep. We need between 7 and 9 hours of sleep a night. One reason that people lose weight slower than other people is because they don't sleep. Remember, we talked about this before, and one lady was saying that she only got 4 hours of sleep. And I can't live on 4 hours of sleep. First of all, I would be miserable and very unpleasant. Don't you think that's the way it would be?
It catches up to you after a while.
It catches up to you. A couple bad nights, I'm done, and I'm not happy. So let's think of it as a lifestyle. Not a punishment, but it's just a change of life to the 80% really eating healthy, and 20% having the things that you want. Not 12 cookies like me. Don't do that. That would not be good. All right, have a healthy week, and do your best to have a healthy new lifestyle. All right, good night. Yeah. Bye, Bob.
That was good.
It's